born with the ability to see energy rings that reflect an individual's entire soul journey. Shani helps others navigate their paths with profound insight and healing. That was a great bio, Shani.
Hello, it's so nice to be here.
Then the stage is yours. You can continue your presentation.
Okay, so I need my presentation to start. Okay, great. So hello everyone all over the world. My name is Shani and I'm a spiritual life coach. Today I want to talk about magnetic healing, but before we will start, I want to tell some things about myself and about spiritual life coaching, because this is a new area, specifically here in Israel and all over the world. If you have any question to me during the lecture, please feel free to write it here in the chat, and I will focus on this question during my lecture. I want to connect your question to the subject that we are going to talk about. But first of all, I want to explain some things about magnetic healing and spiritual life coaching. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit excited. So first of all, magnetic healing is a new area all over the world that combine between science and spirituality, specifically on the area of spiritual life coaching, in the science part, in the energies that exist and circulate us day by day as our soul journey in the earth. And me as a spiritual life coach, definitely my goal, like to help people to pass their life lesson and be one with their soul, specifically on the area of energy scan and light language and magnetic healing. Nice to meet you all, and hello everyone. I want to focus today on magnetic healing and to give you some exercise that you can try and to understand how can you heal yourself during the 8 energetics bodies that you have around you. Magnetic healing is one of the methods that I channeled here to the world, specifically for people that they want to definite in another way healing, because sometimes we define our healing as we need to avoid from pain. But I believe that if we need to avoid, we are staying in the dualistic part, in the two sides of pain, and I don't feel pain. But I want to define during magnetic healing the healing in another way, like to create a relationship between our reality and us, and to ask ourselves how the reality behaves to us like we behave to ourselves. Because if we will take our responsibility and we understand that we create our reality, we can understand the laws and we can change the way that we create it according to our goal. And the second thing that will happen is our soul can be opened with us, and to fulfill the gap between the soul's world and the human world. So we can move to the next slide. Okay, great. So this is the thing that we are going to talk about today. First of all, I want to introduce myself better and to give you an option to understand what is spiritual life coaching and how can you use it, not specifically on other life coach, but I very recommend about it always. But you can be your life coach if you understand what is it. After that, we will talk about spiritual life coaching by yourself. What is magnetic healing? How can we use it? We will get exercises that we can use about magnetic healing. And I will be open of a question in the end of the lecture. Before we will start, I very recommend to you to choose your goal from this lecture. If you want to understand what is your life lesson, why things happen to you, and what is your goal when you listen to it, because I will offer you some structures that you can use to understand it better and to be your life coach. I actually explain a lot of times my customers that my goal is that you will not need me. And when I have any option to give you some content and value, I'm doing it how much best that I can. So please choose your goal. You can write it here in the chat, and you can also think about it and state privately. And we will move to the about me part. Next slide, please. Okay. So hello everyone, my name is Shani Bahar Azulay. I'm living in Israel. I'm a spiritual life coach, and before 1 year I took a challenge. And after 8 years that I'm a spiritual life coach here in Israel, I converted my business to English because I want to work with people from all over to go through their life lesson and to realize their mission in the world. And when I explain mission, I don't mean to specific subject or social project or any professional job that you need to work with it, because this is a limitation of your free choice. I meant the inner sources of knowledge that you have since you were born and before you were born. And I believe that when you come to rememberness, when you remember what happened to you before you were born, you can fulfill your mission in your world, because you pass your life lesson, you understood what does your soul mean when she explained these inner sources of knowledge, and you can choose in your favorite way how to realize this mission and how to fulfill these inner sources of knowledge. I'm using some methods to do it. In these methods, I built an alternative investigation to this world, and during my connection between people to their mission in this world, I'm using these methods to build another society here in the world, society that doesn't base on lack, and help each other to be how much activated we can. I'm using of light language, magnetic medicine, energy scan, and a lot of methods that help me to explain people why things happened and why the gap between what we have and what we need exists. And when people understand their life lessons, they actually understand what they need to do in this world and how can we do it when we don't base on materials or money or something that we believe, and we explain ourselves, if I will have money, I will do it. We don't need it. I know some people that base their mission in the world not specifically on any material, specifically on their speaking skills and communication skills and so on. So thanks everyone on your feedback, and I can move to the next slide and to explain you better about the subject of spiritual life coaching. I can say that if you want to connect with me and to hear more, I can write here in the chat my website. Feel free to enter and to explore it, and we can move to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so what is spiritual life coaching? First of all, let's start with our life lessons. The life lessons exist in our life in some ways. Some people can explain us, we have a life lesson with money or relationship or my home and so on. And actually, when we speak about life lesson, we speak about the gap between what we have and what we need. And what did I want to explain here? Sorry, what? Thank you everyone for your feedback.
Shani, can you please give me 2 minutes?
Yes, sure. So 2 minutes and we are going to speak about life lessons.
ఆగిపోయింది ఆగిపోయింది ఏమైంది
Okay, we back. So we talked about life lessons. So life lessons is a gap between what we have and what we want. And the gap exists because of our soul. The gap is a clue of our soul to understand. We need to discover our abilities during this gap. Think about the times that we didn't know what to do, and we think you think and think and think you didn't find any solution, but you try to understand what did I never believe that I can do, but I can do it. This is the life lessons. All these abilities of your life lesson, this is the things that will appear in your role in this world. All your life lessons need to give you piece and piece from your puzzle, and you will collect this piece. And in the end of this collection, you will find your role in this world. You will be aware to your inner sources of knowledge, and in these inner sources of knowledge, you can get initiation from your soul. You will learn your inner sources of knowledge, and after that, you will decide how do you want to realize it. So this is the main rule of your life lesson. And some people didn't know to read the reality according to this life lesson. So in this part, I want to give you a first formula that will give you an option to be your spiritual life coach. And I want to give you some huge recommendation to ask yourself how the reality behave to you like you behave to yourself. I want to say this question again: how the reality behave to you like you behave to yourself. This is the question that you can use to recognize your life lesson. I can give you an example. For example, if I see someone that try to survive in the street, I can ask myself, what is the place that I'm trying to survive? And when I'm trying to find this place, I can think about, if I'm worried about my financial situation, I'm trying to survive. So when I want to stop it and to pass this life lesson, I don't want to remove my worries. I actually want to find what is my benefit of this situation. What is the things that hide my solution to this life lesson. When we want to pass our life lesson and I want to move to the internal sources of knowledge, I need to find what is my benefit from this situation. If I'm if I worry, if I survive, I have a benefit from it. And when I want to find this benefit, I actually need to ask myself, what is the needs that I can get some answer from it? And this answer actually came from my needs. If I believe, for example, that if I worry about something, I'm taking care on it. I need to ask myself, why do I need to worry to take care of something? I can take care of something without worry. And when I'm trying to find a way and to give another answer to these needs, I will pass my life lessons. And the last one of spiritual life coaching, that after I pass all my life lessons and I know hundreds of people that know their life lesson and they passed it and they work and be one with their soul, they can learn the inner sources of knowledge and they can decide how to realize it in the world, how we can fix this war and we don't find peace in this situation in the world, specifically in Israel. We feel it a lot, and we can find a way to realize our role in this world without the lack limitations and fear and anxieties, and we can separate between our mind and our heart. This is the work of the life lesson, and when we develop ourselves, we develop all the world. So I want to move on to the next slide and to explain you more how can we use it. I want to remind you when we move to the next slide, please. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I will focus on it during my lecture. Please, let's move to the next slide of how can we use it. So next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Magnetic medicine. Let's talk about my favorite way actually to pass your life lesson and to be one with your soul, because we can recognize this magnetic healing during our body, during the influence of our soul to our body. And I want to talk about 3 steps that will help us to understand what is the external sources that will help us to understand our energetic bodies and to use it to the life lesson that we talked about. So first of all, we have 8 energetic bodies. I have some pictures of this. I'm seeing it since I was born, and we can recognize 8 energetic bodies that use our soul like a cell phone. That during these 8 energetic bodies, we are getting from our souls something like potential and support and powers and our abilities as a soul. We have the 8 energetic bodies like history body and whole body and healing body and the infinite body. I have about it a long course specifically about the 8 energetic bodies. And when we activate it, and I will give you a beautiful exercise today to activate it, we can use it as a source of healing, because the bodies are different between person to person. And when we are going to recognize this difference, we can understand how our history that we didn't remember before we were born influenced to our mind, to our healing, and specifically to the physical body. I can give you a beautiful example about this. If I have 2 clients and both of them fear from waters and both of them have a head pain time by time, specifically 1 time per week, both of them are using their history body, but their history body is different. My first client is help people, and she is a therapist. But and in the last life part, she was in a life lesson of limitation, and she didn't know how to limit her body in water sources. And the second client didn't see water sources, everything. This is her first life part here in this world. So she doesn't fear from water. She doesn't know what is water. So we must have to read our 8 energetic bodies, and you can do it according to the exercise that I will give you, and you can understand what is the specific connection between you and what happened to you in your life. The next step is open the energy of the magnets and receive the unity. Receive the unity. This is the second formula that I give you today. I don't want that you will separate between you and the other world. What it happened in the outer world happen inside you. Like I asked you in the first of the lecture, in the start of the lecture, I'm sorry, um, how the reality behave to you, like you behave to yourself. Actually, this is the unity. You need to ask yourself, if I can recognize my unique, how can I realize this in the unity? For example, you can ask your close friends or family, if you are next to me and I don't need to say something, what do you feel for me? What is my vibration for you? This is the way that you can start to recognize your energy magnet. What is the magnet between you and the outer reality? You can get some feedback. What do you feel? And some people can give you some criticism, and the other people will not to explain it. The other people, you can learn from it. But if you feel the explanation, you will research how can you understand better your influence to the world, you will start to open your energy magnets, and we are going to do it during the exercises that I will give you immediately. And the last one is the heal the body and the emotion with the help of the personal healing system of the soul. This is the last step of people that they understand better the magnetic healing. I very recommend to you to go to the YouTube. I have a big free course about it, and you can use it to understand specifically which kind of magnet exists in your bodies, and specifically to heal the body and the emotion with your personal healing map. You can use it actually for build a relationship between your healing system and your soul. For example, let's think about it as a soul. If your soul want to give you some support, and she see that you have some problems, and you have a inner voice that this voice means, don't need support. I can overcome it alone. I don't need any help from other people. Your soul that doesn't exist in your sense experience, she will reflect it as if he doesn't need help for other people. He actually doesn't need the help from me also. So I will not send her support. So if you want to reflect your soul well, ask yourself if all your layers are matched to the goal that you want to achieve. I don't have enough time, so I want to move to the next slide, please, because I want to give you the exercise. So please, next slide. Okay, thank you. Before I will move to the how can we use it, I want to talk about a beautiful question that I got here. What inspired you to explore the connection between magnetic medicine and spiritual healing? Actually, I was born rememberness. This is my sole choice because it will be helpful to my fulfilled my role in this world. So this is actually my essential experience that I have since I was child. I always saw 8 energetic bases between people, and I wrote all the things that I saw. And some of the people that I know that and pass all their life lesson also was started to see it. So this was my spiritual experiment during my life here in this world, and I took my essential experience to specific methods that help people to overcome to cancer and blood cancer and sugar problems, and people that they understand that they don't need any life lessons during the pain. They can understand their life lesson and feel the connection between them and their soul. Please write to me if you got your answer, and if no, I can explain more if you want. And now I want to move on to the how can we use it. Actually, we need to understand first for a concept before we will start our magnetic medicine journey. First of all, let's talk about pain. Using pain for self-development. This is the worst option to don't understand our life lesson and to feel stuck and regression. If you have some pains and if you think about the pain according to your goal from this lecture, please make sure that you understand. If you have a pain, do you have any benefit from this pain? Please ask it to yourself. And if you understand, I have pain and I'm using this pain for self development, you have a problem there because you need to change your motive. You stay your pain if you using this pain to any spiritual development. You don't need this pain. You can choose any change that you want. I know a lot of people that use pain and they explain me, if I will not pass my challenges in my life, I will not do self-development. You don't need pain to do your self-development. This is the first one to understand magnetic healing. And you can change it to curious and happiness and pureness and so on. You can choose your new motive and change this. And after that, feel the infinite. And it's very important point, because when you change your pain and you are prepare yourself to magnetic healing, you must have to understand your connection to the infinite. If I feel something, all of the people around me will get this pulse to their unconsciousness. And you must have to understand that this is the way that magnetic healing happens. You can develop yourself, and your children, your parents, your family, your friends will heal themselves because of your healing. They don't need to know about it. Your healing influence to all your words, specifically in your close friends and family. And if you use your infinite motive in your spiritual development, everything will be fine. And the last one is something that I talked about, avoidance. You don't need to avoid from pain. You need to control the close and open of your vibration to feel more authentic by yourself. So avoid from your pain. This is the worst way to understand your healing. And the communication between you and your soul. Start to pay attention, please, to your signs, how the reality behave to you, like you behave to yourself. Other people that reflect you as you reflect to yourself, and communicate with your soul. You will get your answer if you will remove all these things that we talked about on how can you use it. You will feel ready to use magnetic healing. I want to give you a little exercise. I think that we don't have enough time, but please copy this exercise and feel free to use it how much time that you want. This is a direct option that help you to heal yourself by your soul. Please move to the next slide. And in the next slide, I will explain you. Oh, this is the experience of magnetic medicine. Okay, the exercise is, you can see during the mission here, place your palms 10 centimeters apart, then move them apart at the equal pace for another 5 centimeters. When your hands are, and you can read it here in the slide, please use this technique to the exercise is one of the ways to balance your 8 energetic bodies and to open them also. You can use it to be more clear and open to receive messages from your soul. So I want to give to get some option to answer your questions. So you can copy this experience or connect with me during the website, and I will send you this slide. I put the website here in the chat in the start of the lecture. Copy this experience, and you can use it. You can use it to start your magnetic healing journey, specifically when you avoid from pain, and you will not avoid from pain, and you will ask yourself how the reality behaved to me, you behave to yourself. As I got, what is the advantage of this experience, of this exercise? First of all, like I wrote here in the slides, you can use it to be more clear and open to receive messages from your soul. This exercise, this is the first exercise that I'm doing during magnetic healing course to help people to pass their life lesson and to put it in another way, and to open the inner sources of knowledge that exist in our 8 energetic bodies. So you can use it to feel more clear and open the option to receive the messages from your soul. So this is the advantage of this exercise. This is a general advantages because, and this is the good question and option to note it. A lot of people will feel that they get some inner sources of knowledge that they never had before. So this is the general advantages, but I believe that all of the souls that listen to us now will give you a new option to use this exercise to open your specific role in this world. I hope that I answered it. If you have any questions, feel free to write it to me. And I want to move to the last slide of Q&A and to give you an option to ask me any question that you want. As you wrote me privately, I will write my website here, and feel free to get this presentation during my website. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask me. And I want to say thank you. It was my pleasure. And if you don't have any question yet, I want to wish a huge peace from Israel to all over the world. I hope that we will know to develop ourselves enough and to pass this global life lesson and to understand better what to do. with our self-development and specifically with
Yeah,
our
Shani,
souls.
that's a great talk. We have a few questions from our audience. We would like to ask you one.
Yes, Shani. How do magnetic medicine and spiritual healing work together to promote holistic healing in the body and mind?
Sorry, I don't hear you.
How do magnetic medicine and spiritual healing work together to promote holistic healing in the body and mind?
Okay, this is a great question because magnetic healing is like I explained, this is the cell phone between us to our soul. So if we know how to use this cell phone as external sources to understand our healing, we can remind all the things that happened to us before we were born. When we explain about holistic health, we actually say about the gap between what we want and what we need, specifically in the layers of the body. So if we can remind ourselves what happened to us before we were born, we don't need this gap to do a self-development. And we understood the life lesson according to the formula that I explained during the lecture, how the reality behaves to us like we behave to ourselves.
Yeah, thanks for your answer. This was a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.